Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just talking about a psychological theory. We are literally uncovering a map. And this map, well, it's for what could be the most challenging and definitely the most rewarding journey you'll ever take.
So, let's just jump right in. We're going to be exploring the work of the legendary Carl Jung, but not as some dusty old theory you'd find in a textbook. Think of it more like a practical guide, a real adventurer's map for self-discovery. This is all about the journey to the very center of your own personal world.
You know, every great hero's journey, right? It always starts in a familiar, kind of ordinary world. Well, for this journey, that place is our conscious mind. It's the I we think we are when we wake up every single day. So, most of the time, we live our lives as what Jung called the ego. That's our center of consciousness, our personality, the you that you know. But here's the kicker. Jung said that this ego, this part of us we think is in control, is really just a tiny little sunlit island in the middle of a vast, mysterious ocean. And that ocean, that's the unconscious.
Okay, but Jung didn't stop there. He went even further with what was and still is his most radical idea. He believed that underneath our personal unconscious, our own forgotten memories and stuff we push down, there's something way, way deeper. He called it the collective unconscious. Think of it like a shared psychic foundation for all of humanity, a deep well of our ancestors' experiences, connecting every single one of us through universal symbols and instincts. Wild, right?
So, okay, how does this massive, ancient inner world even get our attention? How does it talk to us? Well, it sends out a call to adventure. And believe it or not, one of the most common ways it does that is through our dreams.
Now, Jung's take on dreams was pretty revolutionary for his time. He completely rejected the idea that they're just, a clever disguise for something else. He was like, no, no, no. He believed dreams are natural, they're honest, they're purposeful, they're direct messages from your psyche. They aren't trying to trick you, they're trying to show you something important.
He had this beautiful way of putting it. He saw the psyche as a natural system. And dreams are its flowers. They're these spontaneous, totally meaningful creations. What they do is offer a different point of view, a compensatory one, as he'd say. Basically, they're showing us all the parts of ourselves and our lives that our busy, conscious ego has totally overlooked or maybe even deliberately ignored.
So what happens when we actually answer that call, when we start to look inward? Well, you don't find an empty space, that's for sure. You discover a whole world, and it's populated by these powerful, almost independent figures that Jung called archetypes.
Yeah, you can't see an archetype directly. It's kind of like the wind, right? You can't see the wind itself, but you can definitely see its effects. Archetypes are these fundamental patterns of human experience. You know them, the hero, the wise old man, the great mother. They're these inherited potentials that literally shape how we see the world. So, let's meet a few of the key players on this inner stage.
All right, first up, we have the anima and the animus. So the anima is the inner unconscious feminine side in a man, and the animus is the inner unconscious masculine side in a woman. And listen, this isn't about gender roles or stereotypes. It's about what Jung called the soul image. It's the part of us that acts like a bridge, connecting our conscious mind to the really deep parts of that collective unconscious we talked about. And this is the archetype that pretty much governs our relationships. I mean, have you ever felt that? That instant magnetic pull towards someone, or the opposite, just an immediate, totally irrational dislike. Jung would say, yep, that's a projection. You're projecting this inner image onto them. You're not just seeing the person in front of you, you are literally seeing a reflection of your own soul.
Okay, so every hero's journey has that big challenge, right? The ultimate ordeal, the moment in the belly of the beast. Well, on Jung's map of the soul, this is it. It's the confrontation with our own darkness.
And that brings us to the central question of the shadow. The shadow is the archetype of, well, it's everything we've pushed down, rejected, or just never even acknowledged about ourselves. It's kind of like the other person living inside of us.
So the shadow is where we keep all those qualities we find unacceptable in ourselves. And that's exactly why we often see them so clearly in other people. You know that one person who just drives you absolutely crazy? Yeah, their behavior might just be pointing to a part of your own personality that you've disowned. But here's the thing, it's not all bad. The shadow is also this incredible source of raw, untapped energy and creativity. So the point of this whole ordeal isn't to destroy the shadow. You can't. That's impossible. The real goal is to integrate it. It's about taking back our projections, owning our own darkness, and accepting it as part of who we are. And that act of courage? That is a massive step towards real psychological maturity and wholeness.
So after confronting the dragon, the shadow, the hero gets the treasure. And on this inner journey, the treasure isn't gold or jewels, it's the discovery of a new, much deeper center of your personality, the self.
Now, it is so important to get this. The self is not the same thing as the ego. If the ego is the king of our little conscious island, the self is the regulating center of the entire psychological world, conscious and unconscious, all of it. Jung even called it the God within us. It's the organizing principle that's always guiding us toward wholeness and unity.
And this quote just nails the profound shift that happens. You realize your conscious ego isn't the real boss. It's not the commander-in-chief of your life. You actually have to let go of its need for total control and become a servant to something much larger, much more whole, within yourself. And yeah, it's humbling for sure. But it is also incredibly liberating.
But wait, the journey isn't over. A hero doesn't just find the treasure and stay in the cave. They have to bring it back and integrate it into their ordinary world. So finding the self isn't some one-and-done event. It's the beginning of a whole new way of living. It's a lifelong process that Jung called individuation.
And here's what's so essential to understand. Individuation is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. It's a commitment to becoming more fully and authentically you, warts and all. It's about bringing together all the opposites within you, conscious and unconscious, light and shadow, to create a personality that's more complete, more resilient. And yeah, it's the work of a lifetime.
So at the end of the day, Jung's work isn't just some theory to be studied. It's an invitation. It's a call to look within, to actually embark on your own unique adventure. It's a call to understand that the most meaningful exploration you will ever undertake is the one into the vast, mysterious, incredible depths of your own soul.